So welcome to lesson 3 of our Introduction to Soul Harmony Yoga course. This lesson is all around how we work with the spine when we're going through our yoga practice. So yoga is so good to keep your spine really supple and flexible, and a lot of my students will say that their back pain that they've had for years and years and years is gone because they're practicing yoga on a regular basis. So we work with the principles of strengthening your spine, which we'll do later in the class. And we also work with the principle of creating flexibility. And particularly when we're going into back bends, you'll find that what happens is all of the spinal fluid is replenished along your spine. So it's like all the nutrients and the whole of your spine gets a really lovely boost of fresh nutrients. So it really does help to maintain your spine on a long-term basis. Of course, if there's any particular injuries, please do consult your specialist first. Have a look at our guidance on doing yoga with back injuries, and make sure that your practice is safe for you. Generally, the rule of thumb is if there's any issues, if you feel any pain, then you wouldn't do that movement. Okay, so we're going to start with a really lovely movement just to ease your spine out. So I'll invite you to come to lie down on your mat and just bring your feet to hip width apart, and then taking your arms out to the sides, and the arms are at shoulder height. And then just being aware of your neck, just bring your chin down enough so that you feel you've got some lovely length through the back of your neck. We're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we'll drop the knees to the right and turn your head to the left if that's comfortable for you. You may want to put a cushion or a blanket under your legs just to support you if that feels more comfortable. And just breathe. You'll just notice a lovely twist in your lower back. And then we're going to use the core muscles to lift the legs up. So draw your abdominal muscles back towards your spine, lift the knees, bring them back to center, head comes back to center, we drop down, knees to left, head to the right. Just breathing normally here, just allowing your back to move into that lovely stretch. And then engaging your core muscles, abdominals drawn back towards the spine, lifting the knees up, head comes back to center, exhale, knees to right, head to left. Just a couple of breaths here. Drawing the abdominal muscles back, knees come up, dropping them down, exhale, to the left, head to your right. Lovely. And then drawing your knees up using your core. We're going to take hold of your knees and just draw them into the chest and just start to circle them round. So we just want to start to warm your back up. Preparation for our Cobra Posture, Bhujangasana later on. And then we'll circle in the opposite direction. And then bringing your knees back down to the mat. We're going to roll onto our sides. Just position your hands down on the floor and push yourself up to a seated position. Okay, so from here we're going to come into some standing movements. So we'll come up to standing. And you're going to bring your feet to about hip width apart. And we're going to move into some movements that are going to really loosen your back up, but in a gentle way. So your feet are about hip width apart. We're just going to start to we've done this movement before in this course. Just start to slowly turn one way and the other. So again, remembering that your arms are lovely and loose and relaxed. And then we're going to take that movement. So we start to raise the heel. You raise the right heel as you twist to your left as you twist to the right. Just start to speed that movement up. Start to raise your hands to your shoulders. You can add a dip down into your legs just to work your legs and start to strengthen your legs a little. That's it. And then we're going to start to bring the hands a little bit higher so we get into your shoulders as well. So just gently moving into your shoulders and then back, tapping the shoulders. And then back down to your hips. And then just allowing that movement to slow down. Lovely. Okay, so coming back to feet are hip width apart. I'm going to start to just work into your shoulders now. And this is a really lovely way to loosen your back and also give your kidneys a good squeeze and a detox at the same time. So you're going to lift your shoulder one way and the other. That's it. And you can see that as I'm dropping down, I'm just bending into my knees a little bit so that my side of my body can squeeze. So just enjoying this movement. And it's more of a movement that you sort of feel into rather than trying to make it perfect. And start to just raise your elbows a little bit, being aware of your hips as you stretch out through the sides of your body. And start to lift elbows and hands. So you're really circling out through your body. And you can breathe in as you lift, out as you lower if you wish, if that works for you. And then just starting to bring that movement back into your elbows. Then back into your shoulders. Lovely. And just giving your arms and legs a shake. So our final movement for our warm-up, we're going to take the feet, and you can move your feet for this as well. They don't stay in one place. Just take them a little bit wider. You've got your hands, palms facing each other. We're just going to start to make the shape of a figure 8 on its side. And it's a free-flowing movement, so you can take this movement if you want to close your eyes and just feel into this movement. It's a lovely way to loosen your back. You can drop down towards your feet. You can lift up towards your head. You can turn to the sides. Whatever way feels right for you, just allow. It can be fast, it can be slow. Just allowing your back to open up, keeping that flowing movement. Your joints are soft and relaxed. And just feel your back, your body opening up. So some of the movements in our yoga are really lovely flowing movements to get us out of that structured, logical way of being. More of a yin way of being. You're just flowing in the moment, easing out your back, and just start to bring those movements back in front of your heart. slowing that movement down, finding your feet, being aware of your feet as they rest on your mat, on the ground, and then really making that movement a little bit smaller, and then just resting. Let your heart just take a few breaths. Relax your arms down by your sides and just notice how you feel. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Excellent. Well done. So I'm going to invite you to come down onto your mat now, and we're going to do some back strengthening movements. This is the 4 stages of the Cobra, Bhujangasana, and this posture, as I say, is fantastic for strengthening your back, and it's important in any yoga class that you work with strengthening and stretching at the same time, or as part of the class, so that you get that balance in your body. So this is the part of the class that we're doing the strengthening, and the first part was more of the flowy, creating suppleness and flexibility. So I'm going to invite you to come down. I'll show you the movements first of all. So if you just want to stay seated, watch the movements, and then we'll do them all together in a second, unless you know them. Me. Your hands down by the mat. Forehead comes down to touch the mat. And you're going to engage your core stability and just lift and look towards your hands. So your hands are at shoulder height or shoulder width apart, and you just lift. And then you bring your chin back to your chest and just bring your hands about hand width back so that you've got some bend in your elbows. Forehead to the mat, making sure your core is engaged, so really drawing your abdominals back towards your spine when we're doing these strengthening exercises. And then you use your in-breath to lift up, push on your hands and just lift your body up so you can see that it's slightly higher. Forehead to the mat. We're coming into the Sphinx, so your hands are at eye level. Your thumbs are pointing towards the eyes, fingers point forward. Core is engaged. You start to just take your nose along the mat, let your forehead, your face lift. And then you want to bring your elbows so that they're in line with your shoulders. Fingertips, middle fingers pointing directly forward, and start to lengthen through your sternum. Just keeping your breath nice and even and natural. And then begin to take the chin towards your chest, lower down to the mat. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Core is engaged. We're into full Cobra now. Drawing your nose along the mat, consciously keeping your navel touching the mat. You push up, elbows push in. You might want to bring a bit of tightness into the glutes. Hold and just breathe in normally. And then when you're ready, we're going to lower down. Once we've finished the poses, we're going to move into extended child's pose. So we're just going to drop back, stretching the hands out. So if you want to come down to lying onto your mat, I'll guide you through those postures once more. And what I'd advise is just work out which level feels right for you. And if you don't want to go up to the 4th or the 3rd or the 2nd level, just work with what feels comfortable for your back right now. So I'll invite you to come down onto the mat. And you're going to just take your hands out at shoulder height. The tops of your feet are resting down on the floor, and just bring your forehead to the mat. So you just feel the whole of the back of your body stretching out. And then as you exhale, draw your abdominal muscles back towards your spine. So we're really using your core muscles to strengthen the back of your body here. As you inhale, you just lift and look forward. Just looking along your hands. That's it. Just breathing normally. And then lowering down, chin to chest, forehead to mat. And then just bringing your hands about a hand width back, so there's a bend in your elbows. Again, your forehead is down on the mat. As you exhale, your core is engaged. As you inhale, just start to push, really, so you're trying to push your palms into the floor, and just let your arms straighten. And again, just looking forward, you'll feel it takes you slightly further up your spine this time. Just a couple more breaths here. Strengthening into your back, shoulders are relaxed away from your ears. And then chin to chest, lower down. Now you can either stay at that level if that felt like it was enough, or if you want to move into the Sphinx posture, you bring your hands to eye level, thumbs facing the eyes, core is engaged. As you exhale, just start to allow your nose, as you inhale, to draw along the floor, your face and chin come away from the mat, and then bring in your elbows in line with your shoulders. Middle fingers point forward, and just lengthening through your sternum. You can almost grip on your mat and draw yourself forward. Just breathing naturally and normally here. And then bring in your chin to your chest. Just allow yourself to relax down. Just take a couple of breaths. Bringing your hands under your shoulders if you want to go into Cobra, or just choosing whichever stage suits you. Engage in your core as you exhale. And drawing your nose along the mat. Hands under your shoulders. You push up, leaving your navel on the mat. Lifting through the sternum, shoulders are relaxed, elbows in, so your elbows are by your sides, and just breathing normally here. It's a strong pose, stick with it, just use your breath to let your body settle, and then when you're ready, start to lower rib cage down onto mat, chin comes to your chest, and just let your head rest down. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands under your shoulders. We're going to push back into extended child. So it's really important to have that balance of strengthening and stretching. So knees and hips are aligned, wrists and shoulders, and then just dropping your bottom back towards your heels. Remembering you can place a cushion there between the backs of your thighs, the backs of your calves, or just have your hips raised a little. And then let your hands drop forwards. And just breathe into your back. If your head doesn't reach all the way down to the mat, then just use a cushion to pop your head onto. Breathing into the whole of your back. And you'll feel as you use your breath, imagine that you're breathing into the back of your body. We'll start with the lower back with your next inhalation. And then imagining taking that breath from your lower back to the lower middle back. And then your next breath from your lower back, middle back to upper back. Lovely. And then just bring in your hands back under your shoulders. We're going to really slowly push back up into a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. Just closing your eyes, take a few breaths. Notice how you feel. And then it's time to grab your things for relaxation. So pop in the relaxation video on after this one and really let your spine relax down.